Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Cannabis Live. My name is Matthew Roman, and I'm alongside Craig Aronoff.
Hello.
This is episode 8. This is going to be Stories from the Road. Just so you know, we'll be coming to you live every Wednesday and Friday. We really welcome your engagement. If you have any questions, concerns, anything pops to mind while you're watching, please post, comment, and we'll try and get to it during the show. And also, please like, love it, share it, really get it out there. And if you enjoy the show, so that more people can enjoy the content.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. Of course, we'd love to hear back from you. We are Cannabis Live, coming to you for the Cannabis Legal Group. We're going to be talking about some different things that Matt and I have seen as we visited different townships around the state of Michigan, met with various clients with different needs, and we really got a good feel for the kind of things to kind of learn about the different people we've seen around our state. And so we're not going to disclose any particular client, of course, or any particular township or any specifics. So we're just going to talk generally about the stories from our trips around the state and things we've seen. We, of course, are really talking about everything you need to know to get licensed under the new Medical Marijuana Facility Licensing Act. We hope that you'll join us at our seminar on June 9th, where we're going to go over in detail the various things that will be needed.
So let's get right into it. So as Craig said, we're going to be talking about the different quote-unquote personalities that we see. Yeah. We don't like to put people in a box too much, but there's definitely a unique set of personalities that come to almost every municipal meeting. And that's one thing about practicing marijuana law that you really get exposed to is the municipal level of government and the different people and their roles within it. So I'll talk about the first type of person that we see. This type of individual we like to call, he usually has some type of background from a more conservative approach to cannabis. A lot of times it can be retired law enforcement or somebody with a government involvement to that extent. And this individual really has the same ideas they had that were kind of propagated in the 1950s. And no matter what, they are very closed-minded during the meeting. They will bring up studies or things that are not necessarily true, and they'll try and hammer that home as reasons why to not partake in the market. Oftentimes, several people at the meeting will disagree with these individuals. We've actually had people from the same office who've worked together have very different stories of what has actually happened in their period or involvement with cannabis, and it's really interesting to see. And this person, no matter what you do, no matter what you say, they can really, their mind will not change, and they can be a very difficult and often combative individual when it comes to the municipal government and the way that they want their municipality to go about handling the new laws and regulations.
Yeah, and while some might be of what appears to be sound mind in their thoughts, there's also the alternative version of that, which, and I use it loosely to call it the town's crazy Joe, or Jane, as it might be, where they come in and they're at every single town hall or village meeting or city council meeting. They're very actively engaged by being there, but when they stand up and they speak at literally every single agenda item that they're allowed to participate in, that they're really not founded in actual facts. It's all opinion. It's all things they've maybe read or learned in a very limited source of knowledge. And it's not that it's just in the cannabis industry. It really permeates through the various opinions we see throughout the hour and a half, or even 2 hour long village or township board meetings. But notwithstanding, really what we're discussing is dispelling the myth. They are creating this myth, drug use is going to increase. This is a gateway drug. Or the alternative argument, how it's going to increase crime for a variety of different reasons. And we know that just not to be the case. In fact, a recent article we posted on our website talked about the fact that, the studies through states that have had a more mature cannabis market, like Colorado or whatnot, they've seen crime drop. And, and it's proven not to be a gateway drug. That's a long dispelled myth when it comes to getting into other more serious drug use, as it relates to opiates and whatnot. That's a different problem than the cannabis industry. So again, just talking about dispelling myths for these individuals and really trying to change the topic towards what might be the fake news, towards what the real research and the benefits to the community of participating in the new law are.
So yeah, and so to jump on that, another type of person that we see often at these meetings is the uninformed citizen. Just completely uninformed, not misinformed, but just uninformed. And those are oftentimes our favorite people to run into, because a lot of times, you're either dealing with a blank slate or they really don't have any preconceived notions. So the conversation's a little bit easier. These people are usually eager to learn about the topic. And it's really interesting, at least that what I've seen, I think Craig has too, is at these meetings, just the array of ideas that these people have when they get there about cannabis. They really don't know anything, but they may have heard something here, heard something there, and those ideas are often dispelled very quickly when you bring the facts to light to them, or you rein in what the truth is compared to what they may have been reading somewhere or doing whatnot. And it goes somewhat with the misinformed citizen, but I find the uninformed citizen oftentimes is someone that basically knows nothing about the market, and they're someone that knows nothing about the regulations, knows nothing how this works with the state, or how these businesses operate, or what goes into these businesses. And like I said, they're probably at least my favorite type of individual, because you really see as the information comes out and the benefits come to light, a lot of them change their mind and really become pro-cannabis and within a short amount of time.
Yeah, and what's great is they ask really genuine questions that aren't really founded in a specific ideology or opinion already. And so, there was a woman that I met at a recent city council meeting that, her question was, would it be like is there going to be like a CVS, a Walgreens, and a Rite Aid on every corner, and if you wanted to get your prescription filled, you can go between each of them? And I think it was a genuine question, worrying, of course, about if you get a prescription for a particular drug and you have it filled at CVS, you shouldn't be able to go and fill it again at Walmart or Walgreens or wherever else if it's a restricted amount of medicine for, say, an opiate, whatnot. And she just didn't appreciate that there's limits on how much individuals, patients can actually carry and still be legal in terms of how much quantity they can have up to their maximum amount, and their ordinance might restrict how much an individual should have on them at any time. And so we were able to actually engage in a conversation about just different viewpoints and fill in the blanks and answer these questions again that are just they just don't know, and filling in those blanks, you can kind of see the light bulbs go off and redefine the picture in their mind as to what this would look like in their town. And that's, in a dispensary type of discussion. In other areas, we're talking about greenhouse grows or processing facilities and manufacturing plants that won't look any different than the existing ones.
Right. And kind of tailing on that idea in regards to the uninformed citizen is also the citizen that comes in with a certain idea, and literally within an hour, it's completely changed. And we see this a decent amount, and it's pretty interesting to watch, because at the beginning of the meeting, they may be more combative or very dismissive of the topic, or even angry that they're even discussing it. And by the end, when you highlight some of the benefits, like jobs, some of the benefits to the community in regards to revenue, etc., what it can do for their patients having regulated medicine, it's really interesting to watch the eyes light up and really embrace it with acceptance. And it's funny, because some of the people that, when you go into a meeting and you think they're going to be the biggest adversary at that meeting, they actually come out being your biggest advocate. And with these small municipalities, especially with some of the smaller ones, they're really small, close-knit communities. So our goal is to really inform these people and give them the proper facts, because they're going to talk to their neighbors, they're going to talk to their city council person, they're really going to be involved, especially because they've taken the initiative to be at that meeting. So really getting a couple of those advocates and really getting them strong can really make the difference between a municipality moving slow, moving fast, adopting, not adopting. Because at the end of the day, most of the municipalities want to make their the people happy within their municipality. So that's an important part of their governance, so they're taking that into consideration. So the more support we can get by educating with the truth, the better it is.
Yeah, and I think that it highlights an important part of what we at the Cannabis Legal Group are doing, whether it's Matt, myself, or Bart and Morris. When we're going to these townships and these villages and these councils, we're there to help educate. When we walk in and we're there to lobby on behalf of a particular client, or at the same time, we're really there to help make sure that they're making the most informed decision possible. We're allowing ourselves to be a resource for those questions. And as Matt was saying, to see a room turn, and to see just once they start to understand and appreciate the depth of, the differing facts that can come out in terms of the security and the protection that these facilities are going to have. So the crime as it relates to, robberies and those type of things is really not as big an issue as I think a lot anticipate. And then of course, understanding how each dollar of revenue that comes in has a breakdown that allows the township to really benefit to the tune of 25 cents on the dollar prorated for their community. And so you can really get into how that investment can be reused in their community and see them start to look at it, as any other type of business coming to town. But our ability to engage them and be their source of information and educate and answer their questions and get the time from them, it's been really wonderful, because you can't read a book by its cover. You walk into some of these township meetings and they're big farm boys and farm girls to city people in different urban settings and whatnot, and you really don't know what they're really thinking. And it's just amazing to see, the openness and acceptance to the concept, regardless of generation, regardless of what their background might be, their economic background, socioeconomic. There's a lot of open minds around the state, and if you walk in thinking that you're trying to be an adversary to bust through a wall, it's not generally like that. It's a lot more open than I think people give credit for.
And I think too, one of the amazing parts, at least what I've realized through this process, is just how involved some of these communities can be. We go to some really small communities and you'd be surprised the turnout. I mean, I've been at ones where there's been several hundred people, and you're sitting there and you're going, wow, you walk in the room and you didn't expect this, because then you go to other ones and it's maybe just the city council and one other person. So really to see though the involvement and the momentum behind it is really been unique. I think just in general we can talk about, for the most part, I'd say that most municipalities, whether they're passing or not, most of the population who attends usually is in favor of bringing some type of cannabis business to the municipality. And we want to encourage our viewers and people that are interested in entering the market, but are also patients, also have some type of activism role, to really get out there to your local municipality. Look up the board meetings. You can oftentimes get an agenda beforehand and it'll list right on there the topics. There's also some public topics. Also, you could contact the municipality and ask to be heard on the issue. Some municipalities, even though this passed, it's not at the forefront of their mind, but if, the people involved in their community are bringing it to light, they're more apt to bring it in discussion, and really get out in the limelight. And this can be, like I said, from business people to patients, from people that want a business to just want to have safe access to medicine right in their community. So it's really important, and we really want to advocate that people that are interested in this and really have an interest in their municipality to really get out there, show their support, bring the truth out of this product in this industry, so that people can really get the proper information and make the correct decision for them. Yeah,
and the laws we're going to talk about in our next segment on Wednesday morning. We're going to be talking about the differences of the old Michigan Medical Marijuana Act and the new Medical Marijuana Facility Licensing Act, and how Michigan is going from a caregiver-patient model to a commercialized enterprise now. And in turn, what's happening is the reason we're engaging these townships, as we'll describe in more detail on Wednesday, is that the law actually requires these townships to participate before they'll consider a license for that town. And so we really need to have these townships say, yeah, we're willing to have it. Not only that, we're willing to have it at that specific location. So an applicant can say, I've been approved by that town at that location, now can we look at the rest of my application? But in that vein, and just talking about, trying to get engagement from the towns, I was at a small town just the other day, and I wasn't on the agenda. I was there, I would call it the dating phase, where we're going in and just introducing ourselves and just letting the board know there's somebody interested in making an investment in their town, and that we're hoping to get onto their agenda and advance the conversation from where it is now, which is not at all, to something more in depth later. And they were very kind and gratuitous in the time, they gave me their 3 minutes of public time, which is pretty common at every meeting. And then during the planning commission meeting a little bit later on, there was some discussion about revenue that's missing because they have road issues, and they're really wondering what they can do about filling the gap, and do they then maybe consider a millage or some other facet to fill in that that blank in their books. And all the while, we were just talking about, previous to that, this Medical Marijuana Facility Licensing Act. And the truth be told is that the size of that town and the anticipated revenue that 1 or 2 facility licenses might offer might actually do a great job filling that shortfall for that road. And so now instead of charging all the other citizens of their township, this could be done through a raise of just allowing a new business to come to town. And that's an unusual thing. They're not used to seeing that. It's not like, an automaker comes into town. That's going to offer jobs and everything, like we're talking for the cannabis industry. But this is also coming with a revenue source to follow in terms of the new taxation, the excise fund. And so it was really interesting to see them start to flip and get a deeper idea of how they can utilize their opting in to their benefit.
And just so you know that, we go to these municipality meetings on behalf of our clients. So if any of you are interested in starting a cannabis business in an area, if you retain our firm, we'll actually go to the municipality, do a presentation for them, and really bring the facts to life for them, as well as, assist them with any ordinance help that they need or writing. So and I want to know that everything that we talked about today in regards to the municipal experiences, the rules, the laws will be discussed at our seminar on June 9th. Tickets are available now. Please go online, buy a ticket, join us. VIP tickets are available for a Tigers game before. We're going to have some great speakers there, nationally known speakers, so we really hope to have everybody who's interested come to attend. Additionally, as Craig said, we're always live Wednesday and Friday. Our next topic will be the difference between the old and the new law, the MMA and the MMFLA. So we ask you to join us next Wednesday.
Yeah, visit us at our webpage at Cannabis Legal Groups. Like our page, and for Cannabis Craig.
And Matthew and Marijuana Matt, you enjoy this holiday weekend, okay?
Yeah, have a great holiday.
Have a good one,
Stay
guys.
safe.